From the WKYT studios in Lexington, this is Kentucky Newsmakers with Bill Bryant.
Good morning from WKYT News. Hoping you're having a nice weekend. Obviously, the newsmaker of the last week or the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks has been the weather. The historic snow and cold pushed other stories off the top of newscasts and the front pages. Later, we'll talk with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey about how this all stacks up in the history books, as we got more than 17 inches of snow in a couple of days right before the temperatures plunged below zero and also set a record. We'll also discuss how the unusual weather has been affecting things, but first, Lexington city government has been strained hard by Mother Nature's wrath. Mayor Jim Gray says there were also heroes in the snow, and the city is still incurring costs and figuring out what the bill is going to be for the last 3 weeks or so. The tough weather also a factor in that electrical fire at City Hall that closed offices last week. That has renewed some discussion about the future of the government center. We welcome the mayor, who also made some live appearances with us during newscasts this week, and we appreciate that, Mayor. It's been a tough 2 or 3 weeks here with the historic cold and snow. The city responded hard. You have said there's always room for improvement. How did the city do in this historic situation?
Well, coming from a business background, Bill, you know, I look at it in terms of what you described as continuous improvement. Every day we wake up thinking, how can we improve today what we did yesterday? But I will say that I believe that the city resources, the city people, the folks in the city just responded remarkably well. We've got some just what I describe as salt of the earth folks, especially in our streets and roads department, our waste management group, fleet services, our 311 operators, you know, who are getting calls every day. So you put all this together and you wrap it around with good communication, and you know, there was some remarkable work done. And I want to really praise these folks who really did outstanding work this week.
You also brought in some more private contractors between the first snow, when some people felt there was an under-response in terms of some of the city streets, the neighborhood streets. It seemed that there was a larger response in this bigger snow, yes?
Well, we had the contractors available, and we utilized them in the first round 3 weeks ago. And we had them available, and we utilized them again this time. Now, when you're a contractor, and when speaking from that experience, when you've gone through one round and you've gotten your sea legs in a sense, right, and then you've got another round that comes in 2 or 3 weeks later, then yes, the efficiency of the work has arguably been improved in that 3-week period.
As the city looks over its response, looks ahead for some key areas to focus on as to how you might approach something like this in the future, what are the takeaways?
Well, I think that the integration of the private contractors, the independent contractors, with their resources, you know, think of it this way. Often the resources used for road construction in a period like this, those graders, for example, the front-end loaders and the heavy trucks, the Super Duty trucks, are not being used, so they would be available then for us. What you do is you use contractors like this to supplement your own resources at times when you have peak demand, or in this case, peak demand for us was this extraordinary snowstorm, you know, a historic snowstorm. So what you try to do is utilize all the resources, and that's what a good plan's all about. Plans are made so they can be intelligently changed.
So what you're seeming to say is that you cannot plan for the extraordinary in terms of ramping up and being at that staffing level at all times.
Well, if you staff up at this level and your demand is at this level, then you're going to be wasting, most of the time, you're going to be wasting those resources between here and here.
Former Mayor Pam Miller said of the situation back in 1998 that Lexington is never going to have the kind of snow removal equipment that you would have in a Chicago or a Detroit or somewhere like that, but that you have to find a way to rise to the level of the challenge. 2 straight very tough winters, Mayor, on your watch. And does that make you rethink that at all?
Well, I think the best way to address these conditions is the way a good business would address these conditions. And a good business, when it looks at 2 seasons, would say, okay, how are we going to use subcontractors in a very efficient way? How are we going to engage them so we get the maximum efficiency, get the snow removed as quickly as we can, and don't invest in a way that's extraordinary. If you make an investment that's extravagant, nobody's going to like that. Taxpayers aren't going to want that. So this represents, in my view, the best approach. I'd never disagree with Pam Miller, and I would say that what she is saying in that is that the relative size of our city compared to a Chicago or a Detroit is what I believe she was talking about, because we have a lot more equipment than we had 20 years ago for snow removal and for the distribution of salt and other treatments.
Is there new technology coming along that will help in some ways?
There's always new technology that's coming along that will help us, and we're examining those opportunities today. GPS system, for example, in our trucks could give us a faster notice on what streets have already been treated and addressed, and the ones that are still remaining.
The damaging fire in the parking structure at City Hall, adjacent to City Hall, blamed on thawing pipes, water got into the electrical grid, and you had the very smoky fire near the City Hall. Fortunately, there was a security guard who noticed what was going on, and that was the damage at least held down. But that immediately caused you to start thinking more about the future of the government center, which, as you pointed out, was supposed to be a temporary move almost 40 years ago. What are your thoughts? What are the options? What will you be looking at there?
Well, again, Bill, I would say any good business is going to look at its investment in plant and equipment. And that's what a city looks at in terms of its investment in offices and buildings. If you wait too long to address maintenance, and if you wait too long to address what's called fixed asset newness, then what happens is your maintenance costs just get out of sight. And that's what's really happened with the government building. It's almost a 100-year-old building, and this year alone, before these episodes, we had spent over $1.5 million, and that represents almost double what a ordinary building of this size would be spending for maintenance. So we've got to look at these issues. Aging infrastructure is an issue across the country. It's one that we're dealing with really more effectively in Lexington in many respects across the board, though.
Will maintenance be enough to continue to make that a viable seat of government?
Well, maintenance on that building. Well, that building was actually, it was originally designed and used as a hotel, and arguably it would be better equipped. It's better utilized or its best use would be for perhaps apartments or condominiums, that sort of thing. So I think that examining this question for down the road is what's best for the city, what's best for preserving that historic structure, and what's then best for an efficient office facility for the future.
Do you have your eye on somewhere or some plan in the back of your mind as to where a new city hall might be?
I won't speculate. I can tell you that if you've been in the construction and the engineering and the architecture business like I have all my life, then I'm always on the lookout for opportunities. But right now, it's premature to speculate.
Are there other city buildings with damage due to all of this snow and ice and weather extreme we've had?
We've had some, Bill, and this is the ordinary course of business. They haven't risen to the level of getting on the radar for the news like this episode did at the government center.
But the bills are going to total up. And you mentioned on one of our newscasts this week, you're already talking about a 7-figure situation, possibly. Just the costs of dealing with this a couple of big snowstorms and cold.
Well, these costs are extraordinary for this year. They were a little higher last year as well, but we don't see a trend over a 20-year period. You described it. Chris has described it as historic snow. So, let's look and see what we get through this year and see what next year looks like. We're prepared, and I think that's the plan includes responding very quickly.
You talked about heroes in the snow, and I know a lot of that was the employees of city government who worked so very hard. But there were others out there. There were people who just got out and started, grabbed a shovel and started clearing out neighborhoods, weren't there?
That was exactly it. You know, we had a historic snowstorm, a historic game yesterday, and you've got people are creating history in a way every day, just ordinary citizens, and that's creating and representing an outstanding spirit of Lexington, and that's why we titled it the Spirit of Lexington Award.
Is the intention to get back into business full time on Monday with the buildings and so forth, or in City Hall?
Absolutely,
back open?
right, and hopefully we'll get garbage collection, waste management be back in service full time in a regular schedule next week as well.
We've tried some efforts over the weekend, and we'll
Yes.
see how that all goes.
Right.
Capitol Police in D.C. have been criticized for not allowing sleigh riding on the front lawn of the Capitol, and some people said, well, this is America's front lawn. Does the Urban County government have property where there's been a lot of sleigh riding the last few days? Do you have any problem with that?
Well, I think when kids can get out and have fun, that's a good thing. That represents the spirit of Lexington as well.
They found a lot of different places. A lot of
There we
people
go.
have allowed them to enjoy that. Mayor, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. No, it's the end of a very tough week.
Thanks, Bill.
And more work to be done. And we're back in just a moment. We'll be visiting with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey, who saw all of this coming, and he'll talk about that and what has been 2 or 3 very tough weeks with historic weather. Back on Kentucky Newsmakers in a moment. Welcome back to Kentucky Newsmakers here on WKYT. Glad you're with us. What an amazing couple of 3 weeks in Kentucky weather. Records were shattered as what had been a relatively tame winter suddenly came to life. No doubt that March came in like a ferocious lion. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey was among our team of professionals on air and behind the scenes who did hours of live programming to keep you informed. And he's joining us now to talk about it. I'll tell you what a period this has been. We grew up listening to the old-timers say that they walked 2 miles in the snow barefoot.
Uphill both ways.
Right, you finished it, right? I mean, they talked about those legendary winters. Truth is, they didn't see a winter like this one has been, right?
This one has been incredible. I mean, Bill, think about this. We've packed 2 to 3 winters worth of snow into about a 2.5 week period.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible around here. And we didn't just do it by what we did last winter when we kind of nickel and dimed everything.
Yeah.
Couple inches here, couple inches here. This is 2 of the biggest snowstorms to ever hit the state of Kentucky in 17 days.
Well, you're right. Last year it was long and sustained. It got cold around Thanksgiving. We had snow after snow and all of that. This year, we thought we were going to sneak by. We got to mid-February before it just got rough.
And then all of a sudden, boom. And it shows you just how quickly things can change. All of a sudden, Lexington became little Boston here over the past couple of weeks. And, the last snowstorm that we had, for my money, probably the worst snowstorm to hit Kentucky. And you're going to think, wait a minute, we've had bigger snows than that before. And on a broader scale, you're probably right. But you haven't had this much snow in less than 24 hours like what we had.
Yeah.
I mean, we were getting snowfall 1 to 2 inches per hour showing up with that Wednesday night, Thursday morning snowstorm.
I know you have a map that shows us the totals. Before we get to that, what were you seeing? And ahead of both of these, you told us the big ones are coming. What were you seeing develop that was setting off the alarm?
Actually, I go back to the winter forecast that I made back in November, and I put a bold prediction out that this would be the first time since the dusting of '98 that Kentucky would have a widespread double-digit snowstorm. Now, little did I know at the time we would do that twice.
Right.
But the pattern,
two dustings.
2 dustings. Yeah, exactly right. 2 dustings, that's a lot. But the pattern leading up to this winter was one that was conducive for a big storm. Just didn't know exactly when it would hit. Now, we skated through December. We skated through most of January. We hit February. And before the President's Day storm, that was well advertised by the computer models about 3 or 4 days in advance. This one was well advertised, too. But now this one had the caveat of having rain, sleet, and snow. Now, when you're, focusing on 3 different precipitation types, it gets tricky when you're talking accumulations because you get a line here of rain, a line here of sleet, a line here of snow, and figuring out exactly where that's going to set up is the hard part.
So people hear you talk about these models all the time that you're looking at. We talk about that. How do you, I mean, if one is giving some extreme amount and the other one's saying, oh, 2 or 3 inches, you know, how do you decide where you're going?
The one thing that I've been able to do through the years is, and I keep a notebook on each individual model.
Yeah.
And I will pick out the tendencies of each model that I kind of pick up on, the biases that they have. Models are just like all of us. You know, we have our inherent biases, you know, and what we like, what we don't like.
Yeah.
And in certain situations, you know which model tends to perform the best, which one has issues until within X amount of hours before a storm hits. So, you know, for me, that's something that I've done since the mid-90s when I first started looking at computer models, is take notes on each of them and figure out their tendencies.
As was in the paper last week, you've wanted to be a weather guy all of your life, right?
You're right.
So you look at these things.
I was a kid,
All right, let's talk about what we confronted here. You know, you reminisce in Kentucky about the tough winters. We remember the late 1970s, 77, 78, 94, the interstate closings, right?
94.
The dusting that you've already spoken of in 98. And, you know, everybody remembers some tough winters around here. I think 1918 goes back as a
17-18 was a brutal winter.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ohio River froze over that year.
Yeah.
You got a couple in the early 1900s when we, you mentioned that 18 winter, by the way, 1917, December of 17. It was so cold, the Ohio River froze over in December.
Wow.
Which is rare. You normally get a big body of water to freeze over after 2 or 3 months.
And still, this one stands out.
This one stands out. Look at our snow map here that we have, and we can show you where this swath of 1 to 2 feet of snow set up. Bill, they got 25 inches of snow into Hardin County in less than 24 hours. Absolutely incredible. Now, that's where we're seeing the video. You know, we've been seeing video of several days of the interstate shut down there because people were just stranded on it. 25 inches of snow in less than 24 hours. That's why I put this snowstorm up there against any of them. We talk about the infamous dusting. That was a 3-day snowstorm that dumped 17.4 inches in Lexington. Well, this was a 16-hour snowstorm in Lexington that dumped 17.1 inches. So this one almost did what the dusting did in February of '98 over a 3-day span. This one did it in almost 16 hours.
An incredible
snow rates, without question. Now, folks in southern and southeastern Kentucky, notice those totals are lower there because they had more heavy rain, more flooding, and then they had a line of sleet in there, so it cut down on their snow totals. But if you're picking the epicenter, the population centers of Kentucky, you know, the higher population cities in Kentucky, Lexington, Frankfort, Covington, Louisville, certainly, back to Bowling Green, Paducah, Owensboro, all got slammed. Moorhead, Ashland, just unreal amounts of snow.
What was the highest total that you saw?
25 in Radcliffe.
Wow.
25 inches officially in Radcliffe from that storm. Litchfield had 24 inches. Just to the south of that.
And that's right in that area along I-65 where people were stuck for hours in traffic that were very frustrated. Are there some lessons to be learned from that?
Yeah, without question. What made this one difficult for our road crews, and by the way, bless their hearts, they've had a tough job.
Still going at it. Yeah.
Exactly right. But what made this one stand out, Bill, you had the rain before it, so they couldn't pre-treat the roads. They couldn't get out ahead of it because you put that pre-treatment down, what happens? The rain just washes it away. I guess the lessons to be learned when pick and choose your forecasts and who you're going to listen to, because you know there were a wide discrepancy of forecasts with this storm. You know, you always get that, but when you're talking about traveling and then stranded on roads for what 16, 17 hours like that, you better make sure you know to get the right forecast and that you're prepared just for the absolute worst case.
The situation was, it was like quicksand. Once you were in it over there, you were stuck, you know?
They were getting 2 to 3 inches of snow each hour.
Yeah.
So as they're sitting there, stuck in traffic, initially what may have been a 30-minute delay or something, you know, for just a minor fender bender, all of a sudden they pick up an inch and a half of snow in that 30 minutes.
You know, as public officials go back and take a look at this and look at how they performed, and as you said, hats off to all the hard workers. There was so much done, and so many good deeds even by private citizens over the last few days. You see the good come out in people in very tough circumstances. But as they look at this and look going forward, you know, we've had a couple of very tough winters here. You say there's some indication that unless we get some pattern change, and that goes all the way out to the Pacific Ocean, we could be in this for maybe a while?
The Pacific Ocean is the biggest, baddest body of water on Earth.
Yeah.
It influences our weather. You've got the same Pacific configuration going on right now as what we had last year, and what we had, it actually developed in, I think, October of 13. Warm water up the west coast of the United States all the way up into the Gulf of Alaska. What that does, that promotes the jet stream to take a big ridge out up into Alaska. They haven't had winter in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
It's all been out in the United States.
Don't have enough snow for the Iditarod
Exactly.
up there. Yeah.
So anytime you get the configuration of Pacific waters like what we're seeing now, with that warm water all the way up into the Gulf of Alaska, it forces the jet stream up. Well, when that jet stream goes up, it's got to come down somewhere, and it comes down across the eastern half of the country. And that same configuration, I was looking at a computer model this week, it's forecasting those Pacific waters for 6, 7, 8, 9 months in advance, showing no change.
Yeah. Okay.
So until that changes, you know, we
pretend we didn't hear that.
We may be kind of stuck in this pattern for a while.
Well, I mean, maybe it's some guidance as they sit around and discuss, you know, how to go forward.
And quickly, to put it in perspective for Lexington standards, look at this graphic quickly. We picked up in Lexington, Bill, with that snowstorm, 17.1 inches, largest two-day snowstorm ever. Previous record, 13.5 inches. 17 days worth of snow, 32.1 inches. For the winter so far, 40 inches, fifth snowiest on record, and those records go back to the 1870s.
Now, you look at that. If you go back to early February, this would have been an incredibly light winter.
Right. We had what, you know, you're roughly talking almost 8 inches of snow. And by the way, 3 of that occurred in November. And we had the one 5-inch snowstorm, if you remember, over just a small little area back in, I believe, late January, early February. That didn't hit very many people, but it did happen to hit Lexington. So our snows basically occurred in the past 17 days.
Well, you
Unreal.
know, and I guess misery loves company. It's been this way in so much of the country. Boston, as we mentioned, you made reference to earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 feet of snow up there. I mean, they're shattering records all across New England, into parts of the Ohio Valley. Ironically, Minnesota, I mean, I've got people on Twitter from Minnesota and Wisconsin saying, hey, you've got more snow than we do in Kentucky.
And then talk about the lake cold. Here we are in March, and we broke records going into this weekend.
We did. That's exactly right. We hit back in, I believe, on the 18th of February, Madison County, where you're familiar with, 32 below zero. One of the coldest temperatures ever recorded in Kentucky. Here, right after this past snowstorm on Friday, we hit 16 below zero up in Hillsborough in Fleming County. That's the coldest March temperature ever recorded anywhere in the state of Kentucky.
All right. Well, it's starting to warm up a bit now, so we're going to talk about the next threat from weather, and that, of course, is the spring season.
Here,
we head into a severe weather season. We'll talk about that in just a moment, what may be ahead this spring and summer. Back with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on Kentucky Newsmakers in a moment. Welcome back to Kentucky Newsmakers on WKYT. Spending a few minutes with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. I don't know how we got a minute with him. It has been a busy week and 3 weeks or so with the weather.
Yeah.
But now we're heading into typically severe weather season. In fact, we're past the date at which the March 2nd tornadoes 3 years ago hit.
Yeah, and I believe right after that, we were on this same show talking about the tornado outbreak and the devastation from that. And here we are, fast forward to 3 years after that. Polar opposite weather pattern, but it is the time of year now. We're making that transition from wintertime into the spring severe weather season. It's been a quiet spring severe weather season since March 2nd. So for literally March 2nd of 2012, after that, severe weather season shut down that spring. 2013 didn't have much at all. Last year, 2014, didn't have very much at all for the spring severe weather season. So you almost get that feeling to where, okay, the odds are kind of stacked against you now at some point. You got to get into more active weather patterns.
Does the intense cold and the factors that keep building that in factor in with the fact that you're going to normally have the warm weather that comes? I mean, there has to be a little clash, right?
It has to be a clash, and I think that is likely again as we go into, especially later into April and May. This is probably going to be another late arriving true spring out there. We'll get a little tease of it over the next week and change, but we'll probably get. We always get one more little light snow into March and even April around here. We
blackberry winter.
Blackberry winter,
yeah.
exactly. Had that last year, I think, on a couple of occasions. But early signs suggest that especially the month of May into June should be a little more active than normal around here in terms of severe weather.
What are the kinds of preparations people should, at this point, begin to make as we head toward that season?
I was out talking a few weeks ago to some schools here before they shut down for a month, and and they were already, their schools were already going through their severe weather safety plans. They were already doing their tornado drills even ahead of the state drill, which was canceled because of snow. So these schools are now taking the initiative and doing these drills even without the state prompting now, probably because of what happened in March of 2012.
Yeah.
And people need to do the same exact thing at home. Chances are you're going to be home when severe weather hits. You want your kids to go through the safety plans at school. Don't you want them to go through it at home as well? Good time to be doing that, and getting the kids caught up on what to do, and the whole family for that.
Have an emergency kit.
Emergency kit is always good. A weather radio, which we have. We give you discounts through several local outlets. Walgreens and Kroger stores have those weather radios that you can get at a discount price. Just look for this ugly mug. You'll see the display out there.
Thanks for coming by, Chris. We appreciate it very much. We want to thank you for joining us for WKYT's Kentucky Newsmakers, and we hope you make it a good week ahead.